Hello everyone, this is Miss Magic Animations presenting a tutorial on 2D character design. Here we are going to use an open source software called Krita. You can actually download Krita from krita.org right here. Just type in krita.org and don't worry, it is safe. In fact, I found out about Krita through a Blender download where they were announcing a update on Krita, and I wanted to be able to use it because I heard about it, and it works very, very well. It's essentially a free version of Photoshop without the very, very expensive price. Now, why we want to go into 2D design of a character is in how we want to be able to have a character drawn in an appealing way, and the character can be used for concept artwork. Also, the tutorial is also for those. More often than not, I've actually had people who have said that, "Oh, I wish there was a tutorial on like how to draw a certain way, or something like that." So this tutorial will go a little bit into it. Right now, I'm actually using a Wacom DTF 521. I was very, very lucky to get it. I got it for a very, very inexpensive price through eBay, and I do recommend that people do use that because it does work very well with Windows 8, Windows 7, and it actually it uses pressure sensitivity. So now let's get started into the tutorial itself. So right now we want to be able to figure out what character we want in our mind. You know, we can't just go all willy-nilly. So, and also keep in mind that the character is subject to change as much as you'd like. So, say that we want to draw maybe a girl figure or something like that. So, right now, we'll go into the sketch. Yeah, right now I'm only using blue. It just helps. By the way, you can use these different settings of pens and pastels. By the way, I'm right-clicking on the pen itself. Now when you draw a figure, you want to be able to make a skeletal version of them, kind of like how you see those little mannequins. But also you want to make sure that they have line and form. And don't worry, the character is subject to change. They're not going to automatically look exactly like this. So, yeah. Yeah, my character is going to be female, so I have to be anatomically correct in having slightly wide hips. You know, you can have a female character with small hips if you'd like, but what tends to happen is that the hips are a little bit wider, just for anatomical circumstances. And then you want to draw like these little balls right over here. It's just to set up like where the legs are going to go. Don't worry, it doesn't mean that these are exactly how the legs are going to look like in the final version. It's just as a skeletal marker. Yeah. The character, as I've said before, is subject to change, so be very, very mindful of that. And what's great about Krita is that you can use all these pens, pastels, and whatnot, and without any repercussions. So I do apologize if this does take a while, but I do find that this can be a very, very valuable tutorial for people who want to be able to learn how to draw human forms. And it always starts out with sketching. You know, you want to practice, 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 practice. You know, always practice. Because you want to be able to make sure that you have an awesome character, and how you do that is you practice, because I don't even think that Leonardo da Vinci was all of a sudden born out of the womb and I think I shall paint the Mona Lisa. Now, he had to have practice too. Everyone has to have practice. Now the head is slightly big. I don't want that. Like, too big. But you can draw stylized characters. I tend to draw stylized characters. I am heavily influenced by artists that have done the Witch comics. That comic actually is the basis of a lot of my inspirations. So, yeah. Drawing the curvature of the legs. Hold on. I'm pressing Control Z in order to undo lines. That does help. So that way you don't have to necessarily go into eraser and erase. You can just undo. It works very much like Photoshop, and I do recommend this software. So yeah, what happens is these lines actually help. The lines right over here, where the balls have joined, right over here, they actually do help in indicating the form of the stance, the stance of the character anyway. Because a character is always subject to movement. Yeah, a very, very strong character, like already. A very, very strong stance. Probably shadows. Now we can go closer. What's amazing about Krita is that it's a vector program, so you can go very, very small and tiny with the details, and it'll be fine. It'll capture them. It won't just pixelate them. And don't worry, this is just a sketch, but it does help to know where you're going with your lines. Also, use references when you're doing characters. You know, it's not cheating, you know, trust me. Often I've had people say like, oh, isn't that cheating if you're looking up something else? Trust me, it's not. It'll actually help you in understanding what the character is going to do, how are they going to move. And references can help very, very much. It'll help you understand how the character is moving, or like get as close as you want it to, because obviously when they were doing The Little Mermaid, of course they didn't have a mermaid on standby. But what they did do is they looked at how not mermaids, sorry. They actually did look at how fish would swim, so they used that kind of detail on the tail as reference. So, reference is important. You know, do not discard references. Yeah. Right now I'm just cleaning up a little bit of the lines, just so that I can... granted, this is just a sketch, but you want to be able to know how the character is going to look. After the sketch, you want to be able to make another layer. You know, through here, there's like a new layer setting. And then you could trace. But, you know, in order to do that, you want to be able to know how the character is going to look. What I tend to do is I'll draw the face, and then when I do trace the face from the sketch, I'll actually have the face, the head area even, as a separate layer just in case, so that way there is no mess-ups. Because the face is very, very expressive, and I mean very. You don't want to mess up the face. In fact, Glenn Keane, one of the former animators of Disney who had retired about a year ago, I believe, he had actually said that if you need to make a mistake, never do any mistake with the eyes. The eyes are very, very expressive, and the face is very expressive. In fact, whenever you look at a character, you always remember the face. Yeah, so I'm giving her like the almond-shaped eyes with arched eyebrows, just to give her this look. A slightly mature look, but yeah, and then she'll look at you. Right now I'm drawing like a little tiny shine. It's the kind of shine that you usually see with heroic figures. Hold on, there's something slightly off. Yeah, already turning a little bit more beautiful. When you're drawing the hair, be very mindful of the form of the hair. You know, don't be too crazy. Have the hair flow. It has to flow, if you think about it. You know, hair usually flows. But also it can be spiky, it can be frizzy. You know, that's understandable. But try to be mindful of the hair. Mindful that the hair can also define how the character looks in general. Alright, hair is flowing. Yeah, sorry, it's just something about that hand doesn't quite look right. You know, maybe she should be holding something in her hand. But yeah, characters are subject to change. What helps when drawing a hand is you want to be able to think of geometry. In fact, when you are drawing a character, always think of geometry. You know, heck, she's made out of balls and squares and almonds and ovals. Why did I say almonds? Ovals, of course. But yeah, hands tend to be one of the hardest features for anyone to draw. Yeah, they're too small. I know, I'm fixating way too much on the hands, but it's just that they don't look quite right to me. Also, we could adjust the character size. Yeah, we should probably do that. That way, yeah, let's adjust their size just a bit. Okay. Yeah, that's another thing about Krita that's amazing, is that you can adjust how big the layers can be without any difficulty. Alright. Yeah, and then let's give her some shorts. I've just realized that I feel like we're drawing Lara Croft. And maybe we are, I don't know. Or maybe we'll just give her tight jeans. Yeah, be mindful of where the creases of the pants go, because pants creases happen even on tight ones. Alright. There. We have the sketch, and now we'll make a new layer in order to draw on top of the sketch. So we've made the new layer, but now we're going to lower the opacity of the sketch. What this does is it makes it more transparent. And now we're actually going to use black. Okay. Now for this, I'm actually going to weigh the brush itself. And what weighing does, it actually makes the brush a little bit slower, but that's good because it helps the tracing be more precise with finer lines. See? Yeah. Yeah, the lines work very, very beautifully in this program. Sorry. Alright. Right. And then we're going to go into the contour of the hair. Yeah, as I've said before, sketches are usually subject to change, because right now we omitted that little part, but I think it's because it'll look a little bit better in this kind of flowing manner. Now, what I usually do in order to make the lines a bit thicker is, because it's advised that you use a drawing tablet, do not use a mouse. I don't know how people use mice in order to do their artwork. I mean, they can if they'd like to, but the pen is subject to pressure sensitivity, so it helps. So the lines get thicker when I push it down, just like any normal pencil or any normal tool where you want to have a thicker line. And then I'll give her some eyelashes. Be very, very careful of the eye, because the eye is the soul of the character. Looking very, very good, I must say. this is where the fine detail goes. Let me see. Okay, it's starting to look very, very good. Very stylized. Yeah, the dark part under the lips, that's where the shadow is. And it doesn't have to happen with any of your characters, but it's just a stylistic choice. And it does happen with some cartoon characters. If you notice with Kim Possible, she has like a shadowed underlip. Alright. That's how her head looks. Beautiful, isn't it? Hold on. The lines are a little bit too thin here. I don't know, there's just something wrong with this eye. Oh, you can adjust the sizes by going right here to the top, and then you can adjust the sizes as tiny as you'd like. Oh, hold on. I want to turn off the weight. Basic smoothing is, it's kind of like weight smoothing, but to be honest, I don't feel any difference. Okay. Alright. There's just something wrong with that eye. I don't know. Let me adjust it again. I do apologize, but this actually is an ongoing process many artists go through, where they'll say like, ah man, the eye is off, or the toe is off, and it is totally normal. Every artist goes through that, where there is just this slight sense of obsessive compulsive disorder, but it's more like for a character. You know, you want the character to be appealing enough. I guess that'll work enough. I don't know, there's just something wrong. I don't know what, but let's go to the rest. Now I've made the headpiece, so I'm going to make another layer, because the headpiece tends to be, in my own artwork, it tends to be separate. So, then, oh, I should turn on the weight again. Yeah, she does have skinny arms, but again, this is just a stylized character. Oh, by the way, the eye little icon right here is what helps you turn on and off the sight of the drawing. Now I really do love how sensitive the brush can be, because it does give these beautiful, fine, or thick lines, depending on your choice and your preference. Yeah, do forgive the very, very odd looking hands, but just for this sake, the character is stylized, so in a way she gets a pass. Alright, and then you do a little bump for the knee. Hold on. Sorry, it's just I want the thickness to be just right. Yeah. Sorry if I'm not talking too much. It's just... Alright, hold on, let me take it a bit back. Hold on. I do apologize for the going back and forth. It's just that, as I said before, artists do need to be a little bit more anal retentive to a certain extent, but it's just so that the character can look perfect, or as perfect as possible. I just want the thickness to vary, because you don't want to have lines that are always just the same thickness. Just gonna erase that little part. And then, alright, shoes. Alright, a little bit simple. But yeah, you can add tiny little details, like pockets. Alright, and there you have it. You now have a 2D character design from 3/4 view. And also a demonstration of what Krita can do, this beautiful, beautiful software. So I do recommend people using it. So yeah, from a sketch to the line work. You can also color them in, but just for the sake of time, I do apologize. We've run out of time on doing that. But I hope that you guys have enjoyed this tutorial, and if you like the tutorial and want to see more, leave a like or comment or subscribe. And do let me also make suggestions, suggestions on what do you want me to do. Do you want me to do more character designs or design tutorials? Possibly I'll go into tutorials on how to do a 2D character design and then transfer that character design onto Blender for 3D creation. But for this sake, now you have like a concept of a 2D character. So, thank you, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this.